Hello guys, welcome back to Call to Arms, and I'm actually kind of shocked saying that because it's been years since we played Call to Arms. So much has happened, and I'm very excited to tell you all about it if you want to stay and listen. If not, I will see you in the action. There's going to be a timestamp down below taking you straight to the battle, so if you don't want to stay, I'll see you in a second. And for those of you staying, and for those of you who just left but you can't hear me, I hope everyone has had a good weekend so far, as per usual. Thank you to those who joined my irregular stream earlier today. A lot of rap music, a lot of gang shit, and some mapping, and more primarily the testing of this very battle. I've done some tweaks. It's been tweaking a bit. The map's been tweaking. It's been tweaked. So, We're gonna enjoy a different battle. Not entirely different, but it's gonna be a bit different. I sound a bit tired. I'm not actually. I feel groovy in a way. Different. I feel like, I don't know, my stomach has a big black hole in it. Like, I don't know, if you threw a burger in there, it'd go out some other end. I mean, it does technically, but it would literally appear in a galaxy far away. But who knows? So, honestly, man, I'm excited to be in Call to Arms. It feels like a new beginning, because this game has, I mean, I dare say, and it might sound a bit cringy, but unlimited possibilities. Endless possibilities, right? I mean, look at the trees. Have you ever seen trees? Have you ever seen vegetation move like this in Men of War, or, you know, the GEM engine? No, you haven't, unless you play Call to Arms. Then this is what you're used to. Look at him. Swaying away in the wind. And mind you, you can alter 3 different options when it comes to wind. First of all, wind direction, which you could technically do before, but it's a bit different now. Wind strength, so you can make it much stronger than it was before, and in a sense where it kind of looks realistic. In Men of War, if you turn the wind all the way up, these trees move like this. They move like this, because that's how the that's how the editor sees it, you know. But you know what? You know what? The people who are hurried, in a rush, they are already, well, I've literally sent them through a black hole that will take them to the start of this battle. That's trippy, man, but that's true. You guys are like in a time frame that doesn't exist for them because they've clicked a button and then transported themselves to a later point. That's time travel, dude. Crazy. But anyway, what you're looking at here on the right side of the screen are the ocean effects. There are like 30 separate sliders just relating to the sea, which is insane. What we're going to look at quickly, though, before we move on, is this, the wind. Look at this. I can turn this stuff all the way up, and now it's really stormy. Look at him, right? Detail strength is how much the foliage, like the leaves, right, and branches are affected. If I turn this all the way down, it's going to be pretty, like, rounded, you know. This here is really aggressive because it's shaking the whole tree. This is a really aggressive wind, right? So that's awesome. I can turn that down a bit. We're going to turn down the overall strength a bit as well. Height amplification is badass. If I move this all the way down, only the top parts of the trees are going to be affected. If I move it all the way up, you're going to have the grass be affected as well. So you can play around with the wind and create the exact type of environment you want. We're going to have a look at sea settings in another video, but they blew me away. Legit, no joke, the best water effects I've seen in any video game. I mean, except for some like FPS or some water game, but like a strategy game with this water, insane. You guys making this engine, you guys are pretty creepy, man. Like, this is on the border of being like an FPS, RTS, I mean, anything you want it to be. You could probably mod the crap out of this, turn it into a freaking chess simulator. I mean, if you want to. I don't know. But whatever. Right, and we're going to have a look at unit variety later, but one last thing I wanted to mention, talking about Call to Arms, is I've never really played it. I made a video a few years ago, and it feels like an eternity since I actually played this game. I've just never touched it. It does have a few mods, but this is one of those games that don't really need any mods right now. honestly, the sounds are good. The model quality of all the vehicles and units are great. They've spent so much time on it. And they have a lot of factions. You've got the rebels, you've got the Russian rebels, you've got the United Arab Nation, you've got the Germans, the Russians, the Americans. There's just so much. You can go Eastern Europe, you can go Middle East, you can even do scenarios elsewhere in Central Europe. It's all to your imagination. They don't really have any Far Eastern nations yet. It'd be cool to see a fully fledged China. But what is so cool about the units and factions they have in this game is that you can deploy all of them to any climate. Snowy, sandy, which would be a desert, right? And of course, a woodlands scenario like this one, a temperate place, just like this Eastern Russian scenario here, where they have the woodland camo or the plain green or the urban camo or whatever you want to call it, right? So the U.S. troops, like the Rangers and Marines and everything, can go snow camo, desert camo, woodland, and it's the same for the rebels and the Russians and the Germans. So there's like thousands of varieties for all the units. And I also love the tier system, how you've got like tier 1 to 5 for all the factions. So it's really easy to tell who's what. What kind of skill level they have, what kind of weaponry they will be deploying with, and you can actually tell the difference in-game. I think I've ranted enough. This video is going to be a nightmare rendering, but the battle isn't going to be all too lengthy. This is kind of hey, this is Call to Arms in its current stage. I haven't seen you in a while. Do you guys like the action, the graphics, the sounds, the effects, everything? Do you want to see more? That's what this is. So, I'm going to say hello and welcome back for the battle. Right, so I am, however, going to include you in this quick look at the setup today before I do get started. So do excuse me, but this is going to take a mere minute. So we're gonna see a Russian convoy move down this main road. We've got rebels in all the surrounding buildings, about the same amount of rebels, slightly fewer than the number of Russians being transported. So they're going to be hidden in the buildings. As soon as I click start, they're going to hide. They are going to pop out and attack the Russians as soon as this technical with a heavy machine gun initiates the ambush, right? So we've got reinforcements coming in, we've got a technical SPG, which is super cool, we've got Russian APCs and helicopters dropping off infantry. That's right, an actual air landing assault, only really possible in Call to Arms, and of course Men of War Assault Squad 2 Cold War. But that's a game we shouldn't really talk about in its current stage. It's a bit of a... well, I did say a minute. Hopefully I didn't go too overboard. Without further ado, let's go ahead and click start. So the start button is up here somewhere. I got it. Nice. I didn't think I was going to. But the camera is a bit different too, so it works differently. It's kind of like the Total War camera where you kind of slide up and down in a arc. It's not like straight down from the side. But it's different, but different isn't always bad. So do enjoy the effects, do enjoy the sounds, and please, my guys, do enjoy the battle, and let me know if you guys want to see more. Oh, shit. That's awesome. The attack has begun, the ambush, rather. We got rebels coming out of the buildings, the alleyways, attacking the Russians with various small arms. This is so cool. We're going to move back here to the rear end of the convoy where the Russians have actually stabilized nicely. They've spread out. They're taking cover. And they are aggressing towards the ambushers. This is so cool as well. I love that all the vehicles seem to be able to take more men than previously, which is nice. So here we got a technical with a bunch of dudes jumping out, arriving to reinforce their comrades. This heavy machine gun is still firing away at the Russian infantry. This needs to be dealt with quickly. Brutal street fighting right now. One thing I really love is the way the muzzle flashes light up the surrounding area. And look at the model quality. This is a vanilla game, and I mean, it looks great. The gear, the helmets, the weapons, it's so high quality. Oh, that sounds like the BTR. Holy shit. Russian armored vehicle arrived to drop off some infantry. These guys are tier 3, so they're like mechanized. The others were just motorized, so bit of a difference there. Here comes that Rebel SPG I spoke about, technical SPG. Oh, it's gonna drive across the river in a very aggressive attempt to knock out the BTR. This might not serve it any good. Oh, does it have it sighted? I think it might spot it in between the building. It's gonna load AT, or AP rather. And I think it's gonna fire off a shell any second now. It should be in range. We got a few more Russians moving up on the left side. So far, they haven't really spotted the technical. It's kind of hidden. And that BTR is still not moving up. The infantry seems to be kind of unbothered, which is surprising as there's a big firefight going down over here. So, yeah, there might be a concern for some kind of range mod or AI mod that modifies the game slightly, but all in all, still extremely cool. We got rebels here and there, still kind of holding out. So the Russians have a nightmare ahead of them, advancing through the streets. So pay attention to the sounds. Pay attention to the particles, the effects, the overall feel. Oh, I hear it moving. Oh, shit. It went for it. The BTR waited patiently, and it was goodbye. I did expect the SPG to knock out the BTR, but we're not going to have it that way. That's going to change the tide of the battle quite severely, but, you know, it's always a surprise whenever you hit that start button. Oh, that was a bad move. Russians moving up. There's a Claymore deployed right here, so we're going to see if they can lure in some Russians. That MG, though, suppressing that corner building. Look at all the bullets impacting. That's so awesome. I mean, that's like a first-person shooter. That's like Squad. That's awesome. I mean, that's great. So there's one entrance here, a small one, that the Russians can take. There's also the bigger entrance over here, if they do choose the bigger one. Whoa, that's cool. So the chopper actually knocked off the roof, the tin roof, and the blades weren't damaged. I did expect it to explode the moment I saw it go down, but it's fine. It's gonna take off. This is something we just do not see in, like, Men of War Assault Squad 2. So we've got air-landed infantry. And this is also tier 3. How awesome is that? Look at them. So they've been called in to help the cleanse of the city. Oh, there was an explosion here. So, yeah, I think we did see a Russian go down. Must be that guy over there. We kind of missed it, but all in favor of seeing the air landing. Whoa, where are you guys going? Holy shit, where are they? They're just rushing for the waypoint? I don't understand what they're going to try and achieve by doing so. Oh my god! He fired that 50 cal and it blew the rebel away. I just don't know what happened to the AI there. So they had the waypoint to go there, but as they got closer, they started rushing the objective. And they took a lot of casualties doing so. I reckon about half of the squad is still alive. But that's a big oof. I think the rebels needed that mess up. I mean, you know, the rebels messed up with the SPG. The Russians messed up with their squad. Too careless. They underestimated the rebels. I do love the sound of that Scorpion as well. That's like, kind of like thin smattering sound. Gotta remind myself to be quiet every now and then so that you guys can actually hear the the audio. Oh. Russians moving up here. We got an MG on the street. That's an RPK-74, I think. And we got the we got more infantry here by the car. Plenty of casualties around here. So the rebels have not given up yet. Do we have any more reinforcing up behind? What I'm going to do is, because these guys are standing still, I'm quickly going to select them. I think they're player red. Wait a minute. Hold up. No? What are you then? Oh, there. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to do this. Get him up in a squad like that, and back in action. We got rebels advancing now. This guy has a nasty RPG-29, which is a pretty heavy AT, I do believe. So that's going to be something the BTR wants to watch out for. But so far, the BTR is disengaged. So what I'd like is, I mean, I've been looking for mods on the workshop, but there aren't any that seem to affect the AI too much. It just seems to be kind of low range. Oh, perfect. I wanted to show you this. Fire and advance. It's actually something the AI does, and it's honestly super cool. You saw a bit of it there at the start. Gotta also love the mag being dropped. I don't think we see that in Assault Squad 2. There's no separate entities for dropping the magazines. So yeah, when the AI advances, they can actually fire. I'm gonna try and show that to you again. So I'm quickly gonna select these guys, and I'm gonna send them up, like, over here. I know this might be considered a bit of a dumb move, but, like, look at that, guys. Look at it. This is just worth showcasing for those of you who don't know and haven't seen it before. Seriously, that's game-changing. I mean, that's awesome. Oh, these Russians have themselves cornered a bit now. They're surrounded in all fronts. There's a few men alive from the airborne squad, but look at them. You gotta love the firepower. You just gotta love the sounds, the effects. It's just so sad we haven't played more Call to Arms before. Because even though it has its flaws, as you can tell, it has so many upsides as well. Like the moving infantry, the air landing, the sounds, the effects, the quality of just the graphics. It can really be a completely different cinematic experience. Watch as this rebel here is pinned by the house, behind the boxes. It's gonna run around. Machine guns hitting the side of the house. This has been a real village firefight with so many casualties on both sides. Oh, and I really did expect the rebels to do worse, especially since they lost that technical. And, I mean, we haven't even been able to cover all the explosions, all the vehicles being taken out. We've had to, you know, focus our view in some areas at a time. Or one area at a time. So the last two rebels out here by the hay bale. Look at them go, man. AK-47s. So there's actually a rebel faction. This is what I do believe called GRM, which is some kind of like resistance movement. But the rebels in this game, like the official rebel faction, are Eastern rebels, like Russian rebels. Like, I don't know, Russian anarchists or something. And they're a bit based off of the nationalists in Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. But they look a little too militarized for my taste. It'd be nice to see them, like, remade a bit. Like the Tier 1 units or Tier 2, whatever, have, like, no headgear. And when they all have, like, just no headgear, it looks a bit weird. Yo! Machine gunner, like, blowing that gun away. Come on. Dude. Chill out. They're dead. Guys, let's have a look at casualties. This battle lasted way longer than I thought. And, BTR survived. Did it? Yeah, it did. It's good. I appreciate, like, the vehicle physics. I appreciate the model. Let me show you quickly what I spoke about earlier this, during the intro, if you saw it. If not, you're going to see what I did speak about. And that was the variety in units. We're going to get these on hold position so that I can actually kind of, like, control them for a second. Now, this here, my friends, is what this game offers for absolutely pretty much every single unit you're seeing here on the right side. And some of these factions I've never seen before, like the Germans. I knew they were in, but I've never played with them. And also the UAF, which is kind of like Iran. Super cool. Like a United Arab Force or Front, I think that's what it's called. Maybe I've seen them before. Honestly, my memory is failing me. But look at this text mod. This is not modded. This is in-game. Desert. Boom. You got Russians capable of desert warfare. Even though they'd still be capable, rather, and comfortable, I suppose, in woodland. This is just awesome. Desert. Winter. Look, winter. Dude. What more do we have? Yeah, that's it. And then, of course, yeah, the three basic ones. Like, woodland for this one as well. How sick is that? And once again, this goes for everyone. I'm going to show you quickly one of my favorites, which are the German... oh, sorry about that. Do excuse me. Little blue man there. Here's a German Panzer Grenadier, right? Watch this guy. I'm going to scale him up a bit. Watch him in winter camo. Oh, and this goes for the vehicles too. And, of course, all the Americans. Once again, I don't think I need to show you too much, but let's spawn a U.S. Army Ranger. Or just Army Soldier. I don't know what he is. I think it just says Ranger or Soldier. That's a Marine. This is just a U.S. Soldier, so regular Army. This is a Marine. I know I've scaled them up, but it's so that you can see them more clearly. And then, look at this desert. Boom. Yeah, this is the urban camo. I know they use this as the National Guard and everything, but it's nice that they have the difference. Boom. And boom. That's the winter, which is just modified slightly. And here's the winter for the Marine Corps. All white, like they're doing some Arctic expedition or practice. Cool shit, and I want to do more call to arms because I just get excited. Let's have a look at casualties. We're going to mark the rebel casualties in yellow, Russian casualties in red, even though they're all Russian nationals. It's been a pretty cool fight. Like, lengthier than I thought, and maybe that's due to the AI being kind of 2 cows saw their lives go lost today. That's sad. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys soon again. Ciao.